Evening. Evening, everybody. Evening, everyone. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? I hope you are all keeping well on this fine Easter Sunday. How are we all doing in the chat? We get a few people in the building. And we talk boxing. Now, I seen an IFL interview with Frank Warren over the last few days. And his interviews with IFL, some of them are more watchable than others, if you know what I mean. But he's been talking about the possibility of Deontay Wilder and Oleksandr Usyk meeting in Saudi Arabia. And obviously, he's trying to put a spin on it and trying to make it out as though, Oleksandr Usyk, this was his grand plan all along to fight Wilder in Saudi rather than go ahead with the Fury Dubois fight, which we all know was complete and utter nonsense. We know that. Man's just, it is what it is. But this fucking clown, look at this. Your idol Usyk will duck Wilder like his life depended on it. He knows. Here's one of these Fury fanboys, right, who literally can't get it into his pea-brain. And I duck hard questions. Do I duck hard questions, really? So we have one of these pea-brain Fury fanboys, right, who can't seem to get it into his head that moving the goalpost consistently on a fighter to the point where a fighter gives up and just says, no matter what I do, he's going to keep moving the goalpost, means that what they're not ducking, but the other fighter is, and making bizarre accusations and just explaining that that's ducking hard questions. It's actually funny, really, how stupid these Fury fanboys are. I'm just going to use the word stupid because they are stupid. They're idiots. They haven't a hand to scratch their arse with. Many of them, I mean, I can just imagine what many of these look like in real life. Probably haven't got a tooth to their name. Probably banana is the only food they can eat. But so there you go. That was fun. We get a few of these people in the chat. Be fun. Be fun to listen to them or read them. AJ came out on Twitter saying his next fight will be in December. Clearly doesn't want to fight anymore. I just seen Frank Smith say that they're looking at doing the Dubois fights. The hard question surrounding Usyk's doping suspicion. So has Usyk ever failed a test in his life? No. But has Tyson Fury to cocaine and nandrolone, hasn't he? Yeah. You ever hear the saying people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones? Even the Ben. No, I seen Frank Smith the other day saying they're looking to get the Dylan White fight over the line in June or so, thereabouts. So yeah, I wouldn't put much past on that. He's definitely going to be. His last tweet was April the 3rd. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Probably an old one now because I'd say he's definitely going to be back out in July. Because that fight with Franklin, although it was 12 rounds, he barely took any punishment at all in that fight. So realistically, like if you wanted to, he could get out next month if you wanted to. He's done. You think he's done? AJ is done at top level. I have to say now, I wasn't impressed with what I saw in the Franklin fight. No. I thought he looked poor. I thought he looked flat at times. The footwork is still decent from AJ. The jab was looking quite good. But in terms of, look, he was in there with an opponent where I reckon the AJ of about 6 years ago, because would you say it's fair to put Franklin on a similar kind of level to a Charles Martin? Maybe not Charles Martin now, but Charles Martin going back a few years ago. Would you say they're at a probably similar level in terms of where they are skill-wise? And Joshua was very reluctant to really step on the gas and pull the trigger. Obviously, I would say Franklin has a much better chin than Charles Martin. I think that's a fair assessment. But I just felt like there was something missing, that you could take any trainer with him, like put the best trainer in the world with him, but he still would have performed that way against Franklin. It's a worry. It's a worry. If he's fighting with White and Fury or Wilder, and not Fury or Wilder, they shouldn't even bother. Now, I think a White fight would make sense. I just don't think that it would make sense to wait all the way until then, December, to do it. I think the best time to do it will probably be in June, July. They can probably still. You see, here's the thing, right? Joshua still has his fan base. That performance against Franklin, that is not going to do well for attracting the fans back. Because it wasn't a great performance. To watch as a spectacle, it wasn't great. And if fans are maybe have their reservations about Joshua, have their doubts, you're just going to that's literally going to amplify it. You know, I know a lot of casual boxing fans here in Ireland who would watch. They'd watch Joshua from time to time. They wouldn't be as much into him as they were a couple of years ago when he was undefeated. And you know how it is with casuals when they start talking about boxing. They don't really understand it. They don't really get it, right? But when you bring up Joshua, where before a couple of years ago, they would have been, oh, Joshua's, you know, it's knockouts, it's this, it's that. Now, even prior to Franklin, you bring Joshua up and it's like, oh, he's boring. He's gone so boring lately. I don't really want to watch him. And I think that's not going to help. That was already a couple of casuals' opinion of him. A fight like that's not going to help. Against Dylan White, there's needle there. I think that it might be the best fight for Joshua to someone to look good against, because I think Dylan White is fairly at the end of the road now. I think that's fair to say. Eddie loves Sky Nicholson Hearn. I was in America last night, but I dropped into Australia, if you get me. Yeah, we do. If he is smashing Sky Nicholson, fair play. Fair play. A shout out to Ali Drew. Man's needs. Exactly, mate. They're a source for this. For what? Usyk stuff or what? Do you hear AJ said he isn't fighting till... People keep asking me this, but where exactly is that? I haven't seen it. This is content upon Dubois taking step aside money. I reckon he will. I reckon Frank Warren would probably just say take the step aside money. We'll wait and see. You know, we'll wait and see, because I'm sure he really doesn't care, because his guys, he has Dubois, he has Joyce, they're all in contention. So I'd say he doesn't really give a you-know-what. Sub G, man, sub 7. It's always Fury fanboys with the default picks firing shots. Yeah, exactly. Big up to E-Machine. AJ announced on Insta. Did he really? Interesting. Let's have a look-see. Let's have a look-see at that. Obviously, mate, I would rather it be Fury versus Usyk. But at the minute, it doesn't look like we're going to get that fight, unfortunately. Would I say that Fury versus Joyce and Usyk versus Wilder are consolation prizes? Yeah, I would. And if it happens in Saudi, I mean, the Saudis have worked with Usyk before. Wilder, yes, Wilder has, well, more so his team have avoided fights like Klitschko in the past. You know, we all know about the Joshua debacle, what happened there. But I think at this stage, they'd be more willing to take an Usyk fight because there's something to gain. AJ is back. I wouldn't necessarily say it's back per se, but look, we have to wait and see. Usyk's weight fluctuates visibly and illogical when he's in camp. And how do you know his weight fluctuates? Have you ever actually seen him, what he's weighing in between camp? And again, you look at Fury's weight. I mean, he comes into camp well over 300 pounds. Check his Insta story. He said it's disappointing. I don't use Instagram that much, so I have to sign in. And is it up there now? So, like, asking the chat there, is it actually up there now? Like this minute in time? Because if it is, I'll just sign in and I'll have a glance. Let me see. What's even here? Let's have a look. See, I don't even follow him on Instagram, but I'll have a look. In 2 seconds, I'll just sign in here. If that's the case, then why would he wait until December? I just seen Frank Smith last night was saying they were talking about getting Dylan White for the summer. So let's have a look. See. Oh Jesus. 5 messages in my inbox. Sorry if I didn't answer any to them, to whoever they were. Anthony Joshua. Let's see. Whoa. Oh, wow. So you can see that. My next fight is scheduled for December. Not ideal, but everything is part of a bigger picture. Oh, man. I didn't see that coming. Jeez. So he's not back until, I'll read some of these actually. Okay, cool. I had to respond to one of those messages because one of my friends actually was messaging me on there and I never even noticed it. That's strange, the way that I was thinking, unless the other thing I'm thinking, why would he wait until December? Strange. That is strange. I'm missing chats here, left, right, and center. Where are we going? Where are we? Just saw your live, G-Man. Surely AJ is trolling us. Your guess is as good as mine, mate, to be honest with you. December. It's only April. What could he need? Like, that's crazy. December. That's more than 6 months away. What could he really? So Eddie Hearn was saying that Joshua was going to fight 3 times this year. Once April, which he has. Once in the summer, and then culminating in a big fight in December. So is he bypassing the summer fight? For what reason? And if he was talking about December, he says it's part of a bigger picture. So clearly, if we're talking about a bigger picture, you wouldn't envision that he's going to feel the need to wait around from now till December for another rehabilitation fight. Is that what we want to call them? You wouldn't imagine that realistically. You would imagine that a rehabilitation fight, if he feels confident of winning, which he should, would be as simple as making it in June, July. And then maybe look at maybe taking a bigger fight in December. I'm confused about this. He said it's part of a bigger picture, which for me kind of implies, I should say, that it's a big fight that he has lined up. But why December? Why so long? Does he know maybe that he's going to get a Fury fight in December? Is Fury, well, actually, that was a good thing. Maybe Fury and Usyk will actually have their fight. Maybe they'll have it in the summer, and then maybe the winner will take on Joshua. I mean, I'm just speculating with that one. That's probably more wishful thinking on my behalf. But what could it be? Could Fury maybe take on a Joe Joyce? And then maybe decide, okay, I'll take on AJ as a voluntary in December, and maybe that's a condition. Maybe Tyson Fury came out and said, okay, look, we'll fight AJ. We won't fight Usyk for undisputed. And I really hope this isn't the case, but I'm just speculating here. And maybe said, I'll fight Joshua on one condition. It has to be in December and no fights in the interim. Now, maybe that's what happened. I don't know. He could be injured, maybe. I doubt it, though. You think they would have said something. So, very strange. Very strange. Yeah, we all know he did. We all know he did. 9-month layoff is ridiculous. Yeah, it is. You know, I'm confused about it. I really am. It makes very little sense to me. You know, it's not like I'd understand it if he'd gone in there with Jermaine Franklin and it was a real punishing fight. You know, it went 12 rounds. Joshua was hurt a couple of times. He maybe got dropped. It was a punishing fight. I'd maybe understand that maybe he'd think he'd need some time off and recoup and stuff, but it was dull, but it wasn't punishing. Certainly not. Yeah, well, you never know. Usyk should not be gaining 20 pounds lean mass during camp and then dropping it straight off after the fight. Boxing training will strip the weight right off. Again, you're implying that what? He's weighing himself and he's showing us all the weights. How many times has we been told that he's going to weigh this, that, and the other, and it's never been? And that's only speculative as well. So my guy here, who is trying his best to defend Tyson Fury, making accusations about Oleksandr Usyk, despite the fact his guy, Tyson Fury, has failed 2 drugs tests. Just chucking that out there. And that's not speculative. That's fact. He served a ban for it. Yeah, but I really thought Josh back to plumbers and old cottagers. Oh, you mean Joshua? I thought you were talking about Josh Taylor. I was like, what? He's fighting Teofimo Lopez. They are. No, no, he can't be. If allows Fury to fight in the summer, that's what I was thinking. That's literally the only thing that I'm actually thinking of. That's literally the only thing I can think of. If he wants to fight in Saudi, as they've said, they're not ready to hold fights till the end of the year. Yeah, like that makes a bit of sense. But like, surely he could have a stay busy fight in the summer. You know, surely he could do that. Yeah, that'd be an interesting fight. If he fought Joe Joyce now, I'd pick Joe Joyce to win. If he fought him now, I'd be picking Joe Joyce to win. Big Matt, big match, not fighting you till his shipment comes in. AJ wants to get smashed in the ring by anyone. Training longer? Yeah, it could be, but you know, again, you would think that if you're not having damage in fights and you're rehabilitating yourself, you could take these fights a little bit quicker. Saudi fight with the winner of AJ, or sorry, Fury Usyk. I mean, that would be the dream, wouldn't it? I wouldn't really like to see Usyk versus Fury 3, to be honest with you. Or sorry, Usyk versus AJ 3. I mean, neither fight was particularly close. You know, although AJ was better in the rematch, it was still a schooling by Oleksandr Usyk. So I wouldn't really like to see it a third time because we kind of know what we're going to get. I'd be heavily favouring Tyson Fury to beat Anthony Joshua, heavily favouring him. But it would sell. Pros pay-per-view, the UK might be done that bad. He don't want to fight here again. I want a big site fee instead. Yeah, potentially. I mean, like, he says it's part of a bigger picture. So obviously it's not an injury. Obviously it's got some meaning. You know, obviously we wouldn't have said it like that if it didn't. But I guess you're just trying to piece it together. That was only 2 hours ago. That was only 2 hours ago. So, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Will never happen. Mate, I don't know. I hope so. AJ not fighting Fury a while there. Get over it. He's fighting another tomato can in December. I doubt he'd wait that long. So that's the thing. Not interested in AJ Conor the public, but I doubt he'd wait that long. Like, why would he wait that long? We are live, mate. We are live. So people get confused. A premiere is a pre-recorded video that is premiering, if you know what I mean. Whereas the lives are just, we're live. Have you seen how fat Fury looks? Not really. I haven't been paying attention, to be honest with you. LOL Fury has been asked to be behind this. Anything that doesn't make sense will lead towards Fury. Of course, that's probably the main one. Yes, G, met you at your call last week. Top man. Man, appreciate that. I think you were in the media row, aren't you? You were in the media row. I think so. That was actually, man, being at your call, holy crap. I was there with, I met up with Ade, Akin Barak, and David Diamante was there. Actually, David Diamante, when Ade introduced me to him, he's there having the chats with me. I was like, I wasn't expecting it, kind of, you know what I mean? And he's actually pretty cool. He's a pretty nice guy to chat with. And, yeah, that whole trip was crazy. That was crazy good. But yeah, your call, what a little venue. I'd seen your call in Bettingill Green. I've been past it. Like, I've obviously driven past it or walked past it, but I've never been into it. And obviously, when you see it on TV, it looks good. It looks like an amazing little spot. But when you're in it, oh, it's amazing. Like, literally, you do not have a bad seat in the house. And we were right ringside, like right behind Barry Jones. Barry Jones actually was chatting to me and everything. And he's really, really cool. I met him as well. Barry Jones. Got to say hi to Kella Sauerland as well. He seems like an all right guy. I met a load of people actually when I was over there last week. It was crazy. But yeah, met some people there, man. It was amazing. It was real good fun. And thank you, mate. Thank you so much for that. People spend too long debating fighters' weights. When a heavyweight, it doesn't really matter. I think that there is an optimum weight for most heavyweights. And I think with Joshua, it really is a case of Joshua in the low 240s is at his best. Ideally 230s, really. Fury got played by the master of disinformation and deception. By the masters of disinformation and deception. I wouldn't trust Fury to keep his word for a fight in December. Better off fighting early, if you ask me. And again, look, we're speculating here. We don't know. But if it is Fury, I mean, out of sheer spite, would he do something like that? Pull out maybe in December with Joshua having to wait until April. He's out of the ring a year. Nothing surprises me. Usyk was school belly. That's the thing. I'd still pick Fury to beat him. I would. I'd still pick Tyson Fury to beat Oleksandr Usyk. I think he does beat him. But I want to find out if he does by watching it and seeing it. I don't want to have to just speculate. I'd like to actually see it. AJ no longer fighting this summer because Derek James has to prepare for Spence Crawford. But I'd shout out to Jamie. But you see, mate, here's the thing. That isn't happening until when, about July? June. Surely AJ could fight in July or early August, couldn't he not? I mean, realistically, how long a camp is he going to want if he's fighting, say, a Dylan White? Would he come in maybe at the start of June, be ready and all by middle of August? Would he need that extensive camp? It's interesting. It's interesting. And he's obviously going to stay with Derek James, but he says the bigger picture though, mate. And I wonder what the bigger picture, is. I'm confused because I really got the impression that this year he was actually going to make a go for it and stay active and stay fighting regularly. And it seemed like Eddie Hearn, everyone was mentioning, he's going to be regular this year. He's going to be out and all this, that, and the other. And that would make a lot of sense. But why in December though? Well, I suppose site fees maybe in Saudi. Good point there. Yeah, it is. It's a quality venue. Yeah, man, that was cool. I thought that all right, man. Sound that was a great little spot. That AJ5 plan for December might get pushed back to next year. Unfortunately, you never know. Yeah, you never know. You can only assume. It's crazy when you think about it, really. December. Jesus. When was the last time Fury lost rounds in a fight other than 10-8 being knocked down? Usyk takes rounds off him by outpointing him. Fury doesn't need any more controversy. He didn't lose a round against Chisora, didn't lose a round against White. You could give Deontay Wilder the first round in their fight, because if you go and look at in the third fight, if you look at that round, Fury did very little in that first round. Very, very, very little. And Deontay Wilder, although he was blown straight after the first round, he did outwork him a bit in that round. So I would have given him that round just on work rate. At first, AJ was meant to be having only 8-week camps to get back in again. I didn't catch Frank Sanchez, but I did catch Anderson. Very, very well. To be expected in one sense. I thought he'd eat George Arias for breakfast, but still impressed with him. He impresses me every single time I watch him fight. Does Jared Anderson. I can't believe he's only 23 years old. I still think he's absolutely fantastic. And I think that he's 23. He's got so much improvement to make. And I think he's going to make it rapidly. I'm really, really impressed with Jared Anderson. I saw his fight against George Arias. Impressed. I saw Sebastian Fondora get knocked out. And you know something? It was coming. And even before this fight, it was coming, because I've never rated Fondora at all. He's more like, it's the spectacle of seeing a 6'6" guy fight at 154 pounds. More so that kind of spectacle as opposed to him actually being good. Because this is a guy who gives away his height straight away, comes forward and applies pressure when he's way bigger and taller than everyone else he fights. He's got a poor defense, and he got taken out. And I was expecting that to happen a lot sooner in his career, if I'm honest with you. So, wasn't surprised about that. What else did I say? Because I'm still catching up on a lot of the fights. I didn't get a chance to look at the DAZN card yet, but I'm going to have a look at that later. So it was mainly those two, but I'm definitely going to have a glance at some of the fights that were on the zone last night. I want to see how Jesse Rodriguez got on, amongst other fights that were on that card. So that's the one I'm still having to catch up on. The Fleet Fury that beat Vladimir Klitschko beats Usyk. This Fury does not beat Usyk. His legs are shot, mate. I agree his legs aren't the same as they were in the Klitschko fight, but I think Fury is much better at adjusting than Joshua is. Like, Joshua just let himself get peppered and outbox bellies under Usyk. I think Fury will press the action a lot more. I think he'll use his size. He'll probably lean on Usyk and try and drain him. And I think he'll just get rough in there with Usyk. That would make Usyk uncomfy. Saying that, Usyk, I'm sure, will be aware of that a lot more than he would have been against Joshua. Because Joshua, it was a case of, right, let's try and beat the boxer at his own game. And when it became apparent that he wasn't going to beat the boxer at his own game, he should have changed it up. And whether he was just unwilling to, or was, mentally he just couldn't do it, I don't know. AJ needs longer camp. He's becoming a 13-round fighter. I don't think he'd ever be a 13-round fighter. Could it be Usyk Dickinson in July, and then versus AJ in December? Lots of trust in Team Dickinson for this one, of course. Yeah, that's what I thought. But again, that's a big ask. It's a big, big ask. Needs to retire now. No. I don't, man. I hope it's not an April Fool's joke. I hope it's not. Well, it came out on April the 3rd, didn't it? So it shouldn't be an April Fool's joke. It should be legit. Well, I'm hoping it's legit. I'm hoping that happens. The only thing is, though, weren't they talking about June the 10th? I'm nearly sure they were saying June the 10th. Isn't that the same day as Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez? And in America, they're not as bad as the UK. They don't tend to put big fights on the same day. They will put cards on the same day. They did that last night. But when it comes to big fights, they don't tend to do them both on the same day. Fondora is a knockoff Paul Williams. Fondora's garbage. I thought he was going to lose against Sergio Garcia. There's never, when you hear of a 6 foot, I think he's 6'6". When you hear of a 6'6", 154 pound, you want to have a look, because that's not normal, And you expect this guy to be long, rangy. I'll give you a good example, right? Gary Cully is 6'2" and he's a lightweight, which is very unusual. What way does Gary Cully fight? He uses those long arms, that long frame to good effect. What does Fondora do? The opposite. And he's not particularly good at what he does. So how he's been able to get away without losing before is beyond me, because I've never been impressed with Fondora. It was coming. It was just the case of who was going to take him out. Would never happen. But what are your thoughts on AJ versus Anderson? Probably too soon for Jared Anderson, if I'm honest with you, mate. Probably too soon. Anderson in another year, 18 months, versus the AJ who fought Franklin. I might even go and pick Anderson, seriously. The rumors are that he's giving Tyson Fury all he can handle in sparring. And I'd well believe it, because Anderson is talented as hell. He really is a talented fighter. He's very, very talented. He needs to tighten the defense up a bit, though, still. He was definitely a little bit better against George Arias than we'd seen him in the past. I think it was a Jonathan Rice he fought last. I think it was Jonathan Rice anyway. And yeah, he steamrolled him. But the defense, it was bad. And at heavyweight, you really need to have, you're not going to have a Pernell Whitaker defense or a Floyd defense, but you want to have some semblance of defense, because you might not be in there with much. But if you're hit flush by someone who weighs 250, it's going to hurt. Doesn't matter who you are, it's going to hurt. Keyshawn Davis made a statement. Yeah, Keyshawn Davis fought Anthony Yigit. I was expecting him to beat the crap out of Anthony Yigit. Called out Frank Martin. Shakur also wants Devin Haney. You can fast track Keyshawn. Keyshawn Davis was one Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm nearly sure he fought on matchroom cards before. Why the hell didn't Eddie Hearn sign Keyshawn Davis? The ascendancy of Shakur has begun. Shakur is going to do great things at 130 pounds. I'm sorry, 35 pounds. Wilder would KO Usyk. I doubt that very much. I mean, never, ever, 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 ever discount Deontay Wilder. Never, ever, ever discount him with that power, but I wouldn't be picking him. Stop with the fury hating. I'm just pointing out the facts. Usyk struggled with two shoddy heavyweights before AJ looked at Bellew and Chisora, and the body heavyweight fight in Shez. Don't listen to what they say, but let's not be delusional. Right, that all made loads of sense. And that's an interesting fight. McCroy versus Heffron. Is that happening? I'm sure. Oh God, I thought I seen I seen a rumor. It's not happening now. We know who Berlanga is fighting next, but I seen a rumor that Patrick McCroy was being lined up to be the next opponent for Edgar Berlanga. Now he's not. They're getting Jay Quigley in there for Edgar Berlanga. I mean, really, you get Jay Quigley in there with Edgar Berlanga, a career middleweight. I mean, he was fighting better guys with Top Rank. When he fought that guy who Billy Joe Saunders knocked out, that he was better than Jay Quigley. As was Damian Nicholson. Or Desmond Nicholson, however you say it. Jay Quigley is flipping garbage. Why in God's name are you putting Berlanga in there with him? I mean, that's just silly. Berlanga isn't much, but he's a lot better than Jay Quigley. I mean, Jesus Christ. What is your reaction to Frank Warren's analogy that given Franklin's performance, Usyk win is less impressive against AJ? I wouldn't necessarily say it's less impressive, no. I think that the way AJ performed against Franklin was not great, truth be told. But I think that Usyk's performance against AJ, Usyk schooled a much bigger guy, a much more powerful guy. And let's be frank, I think Usyk, especially in the first fight, if he'd stepped on the gas, could have stopped him. I still think it's a good win. At the end of the day, you got to look at what Joshua's done in his career. You know, unified heavyweight champion, two-time heavyweight champion, wins over Klitschko, wins over Povetkin, wins over Parker. Parker was undefeated at the time. You know, just to name a few, Takam, etc. You know what fight I would love? I know what people are going to say, but I would love to see it still, even to this day. And I'll read that super chat now in a sec. I would love to see it. I really would be Joshua versus Miller. I would still love to see that fight. That fight right there, I would love it. I don't know why. I was so looking forward to that fight in 2019. Honestly, I was so excited for that fight. I'd still be interested in it now. AJ against Big Farmer. And big up to Stephen. Even the G-Man, can't believe the bookmakers are offering 7-1 for Garcia to decision over Tank. Really? What bookmakers are offering that? Because I'll chuck a fiver. I'll chuck the fiver you gave me on it. Ryan will light him up all night with that left hook. That's still worth a fiver though, mate. 7-1. That's interesting. Who's offering that? It's pretty interesting. Where are we at? Oh. I give it to Frank Sanchez right now. More experience, more refined. For right now, I'd be picking Frank. Did he fight last night? Because people were asking me. I didn't know he was fighting last night. How did he look? I thought that all right. You'd think Eddie Hearn would have kept him because he really is a talent. Keyshawn Davis, he really is. He's been okay last few fights as the opponents are there to be hit with 3s and 4s. Usyk does not stand still. He's not there to be leaned on. Get a grip, Wilder can't box. Yeah, no, Wilder would You see, you have to look at styles, right? So who's the most similar to Usyk that Wilder's fought? And you would have to say it's Spilka. And Spilka and Usyk, I mean, they're both southpaws. The comparisons end there because Usyk is night and day better than Artur Spilka. Now, I didn't have Spilka winning the fight at the time of the knockout, but many others did. But if Spilka can be that competitive, sure, Usyk can't. Of course he can. If he lands, you are going to go. If AJ lands, then Wilder can land. I'm sure Wilder can land, but how clean? How clean can he land? Because Usyk is good at taking the sting out of some of them shots. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm sure I've missed a video, but thought I'd ask thoughts on Billum Smith versus Coley. Yeah, I talked about that. Look, it's a good fight. Don't get me wrong. On paper, it's a good fight. But I do worry because the saying goes, familiarity breeds contempt. And they were sparring partners for a long time, gym mates for a long time, so they know each other very well. And I worry that we're going to have another situation where it's in a Coley hold show where he's damn near me tooing these guys, to rob that saying from Dell, because I thought that was absolutely brilliant. But seriously, that's what I'm afraid will happen. Now, the fact that it's in Bournemouth, in the Vitality Stadium, probably won't be allowed to get away with as much holding. If it's a case of just sheer ability, you favour a Coley. So, it happens to be on the day that Lara is fighting Wood. And given the fact that Coley's last few performances have been shocking, I would sooner watch Lara versus Wood. Now, I'm assuming what's going to happen is that probably one of the main events will go on a bit earlier. I don't know what Mick Conlan's going to do. He's screwed because he's not that fun to watch anyway, so no one's going to watch his fight. Man, I would have loved to have gone to that fight. I really would have. I would have so loved to have gone to that fight going next week. The Copper Box is a great little arena up there in Stratford. They say it's in Hackney Wick, but it's really in Stratford. Like, they're both pretty much one and the same. I would have loved to have gone to that fight. But just time-wise, that just didn't work out for me. Hopefully, I'll get to see. Here's the thing. Like, I'm going to Amsterdam for a few days in June. So I don't know if I'll get over to the UK for a fight probably for the rest of the summer. And I'm probably going to go on a long holiday. We'll say long holiday, probably about a week, somewhere abroad, sunny, for my birthday in September. So I don't know if I'll be able to get to any of these fights anytime soon. We'll have to wait and see. If I do, then happy days. But if not, then that could be the last fight I attend for a while, was the card last week. Or anyone else. This is what you casuals don't understand. Sounds like it's on next 100%. Wouldn't shock me. Paddy Power offering the odds. I'll have a look-see at Paddy Power. Can I say Wilder has no chance against Usyk? Usyk will be the favourite. A 65-35 margin. Wilder has more height, reach, speed, power, ferocity, heart, and southpaw experience. When's the last southpaw he fought? He's fought Fury 3 times. Ortiz actually a good. Yeah, he's fought Ortiz. But he's getting outboxed by Ortiz, bear in mind. And Ortiz is as slow as molasses. Let's see. Has he really? Did you see it? Yeah, I seen it. I wasn't surprised, to be honest with you. If Joyce wins, do you think they'll do the Fury fight next? Wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, like, it wouldn't even surprise me if they announced it in the ring. Seriously, it would not even remotely surprise me. Got a first round KO last night. Probably was in there against a nobody, to be honest with you, because Frank Sanchez is under a bit more pressure to look a bit more devastating. He is a very good fighter now. Don't let his style is not for everyone, to say the least. But don't let that fool you. He is a very capable fighter. I would probably give him a little bit more time, truth be told. I would. I'd give him a little bit more time. Maybe another, but not much more. I'd only give him another 2 or 3 fights. because he is talented as hell. He really is. And every single bloke is a joke. Chisora is a bit like Bellew in that regard, where he always wants to. But Bellew is like, you'll never see me again, Cougs. But then he's always, please interview me. I'm begging. I'm not gonna. Oh, no, I better not. I see something funny at the weigh-in, which pretty much summed Tony Bellew up, but I better not say it on here. It pretty much just summed Bellew up, and it was funny. It was funny, and normally I'd feel bad for someone in a situation like that, but him, I wasn't going to feel bad for him. I'd rather see that be interesting. We're going to get something similar in this fight. We're going to get the best left hand in the heavyweight division, arguably, against the best right hand, or against the best chin, arguably. Daniel Usyk. Yeah, it's sad. He was talented. Just didn't have that style to grip you, but he's talented as hell. I can assure you he's not a casual. Yeah, he's definitely top 5. Joshua next out 9 months. What a shambles. Inactivity has killed Joshua's progress. He's admitted this himself in the past. And now again, it's same old shambles from his team/matchroom. I don't know if it's necessary. Well, maybe it is matchroom. I don't know. But I'd say that sounds more like Joshua, because he's saying about the big plan. What do you make of Chantel Cameron not allowing Ellie Scully to fight in their undercard? I think Chantel Cameron's a clown. I think she is just... If you've ever heard Chantel Cameron in interviews, that girl has a chip on her shoulder. She does. You hear her in an interview, she's got a chip on her shoulder. So for her, look, Ellie Scottney comes across as a very genuine. I spoke with her on Twitter a few times. She seems like a cool kid. And she's a big fan of Katie Taylor. So here's her chance to fight in a world title fight on Katie Taylor's undercard. Chantel Cameron, knowing beforehand this fight was going to be on it, knowing this was going to happen, to go and do that, get the hell out of here. And then to use the old, we all know, the old MH excuse to justify things. Nah. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Yeah, that's going to be funny. That's going to be funny. Could end any hopes of AJ competing at elite level. Inactivity in boxing is far more detrimental than most think. Far more. Yeah, I don't like it. Truth be told, I think he would be best advised to stay active. And I've said this in the past about fighters, when you're coming back after a loss, or in AJ's case, multiple losses, the best thing you can do is just get straight back in there, have as many fights as you can, try and stay as active as you can, and just develop, get the confidence back. By the way, there's 138 of you guys in the building, and I've only got 36 likes. Lads, that like button needs to be smashed. So let's get this to at least 50 likes. Come on, there's 140 in the building. Help your boy out. Smash the like button if y'all could. Smash the like button if you haven't. But what I will also say is the best way to develop things is in the gym and then doing it in the ring. So develop in the gym, put it to work in the ring. There's no use developing it in the gym and then going into the ring 9 months later in a big fight where you won't be able to get the opportunities to try what you learned, if you know what I mean. Like, what's good about... So if you're on the comeback, right, and you're with a new trainer, and you decide to have maybe 3 or 4 comeback fights against low level, you be trying new things in those fights. It gives you that benefit to be able to do that. If you're learning new things with a trainer and you wait 9 months, and you think, right, I'm going into the ring, I'm going to try these new little things my trainers taught me. Oh, I'm going in there against Usyk again, or I'm going in there against Fury. Guess what? You ain't going to get those chances to use those new skills you picked up because you're in there with too good of an opponent. So I think it's a bad idea. Not saying he will be in with either of them, but you know what I mean. Think he ends up fighting Fury? I don't know. We can only speculate. Yeah, I'd say he's ready to step up. Actually, I at this point, I'd actually pick Anderson over Joseph Parker. I would like to see Parker Hunter, though. I'll say that. Pirog versus Canelo, who would have won? It's difficult to say. Pirog was very, very talented. Very talented. Shame his career was cut short. I'd probably edge Canelo, but the Pirog and Triple G, I mean, that would have been some fight. How come some refs start to count to 10 at 5? What happened to starting at 1? The referee picks the count up. So the timekeeper is also keeping count. So a lot of the times, if the referee is getting to the guy to the corner, he's probably counting in his head as well. So let's say I drop a guy in a professional fight. I take 3 seconds to go to the neutral corner. Referee pushes me to the neutral corner, and he's only picking the count up at 4, right? So it's obviously when he hits the ground, timekeeper is helping out, then the referee picks the count up. So it's 5, 6. The referee's count is the final count, which is always a rule that needs to be understood. It's not a flat 10 seconds. So it's a 10 count. It's not 10 seconds. A lot of people get that mistaken and they say, oh, Wilder was down Fury was down in the first Wilder fight for 10 seconds. The referee gave him an extra 4 seconds. Well, it's irrelevant whether he was down for 10 seconds or not, because it's not 10 seconds. It's a 10 count. You can take the 10 count as long as you want. If you go and look at Tyson versus Douglas, Octavio Moran was the referee in that fight, and he was a very inexperienced referee. And he only refereed a handful of fights. It's amazing, really, how he actually got that fight, because Octavio Moran is not an experienced referee. He still hasn't refereed since the 90s. He gave both of them very slow 10 counts. He gave them identical counts, but they were very slow. They were longer than 10 seconds, really 20 seconds. But it's irrelevant because it's the referee's 10 count. Not again. Not again. I'm not watching that fight again. Holy shit. I'm not watching that fight again. Oh, aim for a like. Yeah. Please, no. James Toney can barely string a sentence together. And salute to Nick every time. I hope you're keeping well, mate. And there's 150 in the building. And if you all could, smash the like button, help your boy out. I would greatly appreciate that, lads. We're at 56 likes. There we go. Boom. We are getting there. We are getting there. We are getting there. I know, mate. I would have given him a puncher's chance prior to that Kevin Lorena fight. That Kevin Lorena fight, oh boy. You know, injury or not, he just fell apart. It was the way he looked in that first round. He really looked like a deer in the headlights. I was when you look at that, you're just like, what the he's not ready for Usyk. No way. Racing Rundown, big up. What's up, G-Man? Big fan from New Zealand. You picking Tank for late stoppage against Garcia, or has the All Access press conference? I'm not gonna pick on here. Gonna do that in the video closer to the day. What I will say is I'm struggling. You know, if you had asked me this question at Christmas time, I'd have said Tank Davis. Whereas now I'm kind of, I'm thinking about it. I'm looking forward to it. That's a late night job. It's a late night job, that one. So we're definitely staying up for that one. 100%. 100%. That's a late nighter. Can't wait for it. Really can't wait for it. Slim and none. I mean, for sure, Dubois hits hard. He's strong, but nah, he ain't beating Usyk. We love you down here, man. Boom. I've never been to Australia. I never will go to New Zealand. I've never been New Zealand. No offense, but nor will I go to New Zealand, to be honest with you. You think Tank KOs him? Interesting. I think there's a good chance we're going to see a KO on this fight, yes. No way Gapsy stays away from Usyk's right hand for 12 rounds. Usyk's left hand, I mean, he's a southpaw. A few years ago, I said Isaac Chamberlain dropped Dubois with a body shot. Really? Now, Chamberlain is not a noted puncher, and he's even for cruiserweight, he's pretty small. So if he's dropping Dubois, it's not a good look. Chamberlain is a good body puncher, though. To his credit, that's one thing I will give Chamberlain credit for. To his credit, he's a very good body puncher. A very good body puncher. What do you think will happen with Hamza Sheeris? Irritate him, but I rate him, sorry, but he's not active enough. Yeah, Hamza Sheeris, that Bradley Skeet fight, that still has a bad taste in people's mouths, that Bradley Skeet fight, but he is a decent fighter, Hamza Sheeris. He's on the card, isn't he? It's not a bad undercard, actually. The Joe Joyce card. It's not bad at all. Big up G-Man. Hope you are well this fine Sunday. I can't see Dubois doing much against Usyk. A slow boxer will, get cut to pieces. Yeah, Dubois is very stationary, very robotic. And just mentally, I just don't think he has it. Part of me feels they rushed Dubois. They did. Dubois didn't have the confidence to go in at the deep end. I know he's still young, but he could be damaged goods already. I mean, I'll just give you an example, right? Young Moses Atuma, who's on the undercard of Joyce versus Zhilei Zhang, he turned pro. He's a little bit younger than Daniel Dubois when he turned pro. But you look at Moses Atuma in interviews and you see the way he fights, you can see he just breathes confidence. He's a very confident young man. Not in himself at all. Dubois, from the get-go, just so socially awkward, so reserved, so in himself. To be pushed into the limelight so quick, he just still isn't able for it, I don't think. I think he will. I've heard Joe Smith Jr. be mentioned. I'd be surprised if it's that, but hey, a big up to Ra every single time. How are you, my man? I hope you're keeping well. Hope you're keeping well. It was good seeing you as well, actually, last week. I was ruined the fight with Garcia, draining him down to a catch weight and dehydration. A rehydration clause, was buzzing for that. Yeah, that's something we need to take into consideration when we're making our picks. Now, the catch weight's one thing, but the rehydration clause is another thing. And then he was then. He's a fully fledged heavyweight. Got smashed by Joyce, then got lettered by a little face southpaw, who then, for some reason, came out in the next round and stood in Dubois. Yeah, that was strange, all right. It was just the way he just instantly switched. It was crazy. I'm Rex staying up all night. Yeah, I didn't stay up for the two of them. Only lasted 2 or 3 rounds. Interesting. There we are. AJ isn't getting a fight with Wilder or Fury because neither will fight on his own. AJ isn't going to BT or Showtime and Fox in a million years. They wouldn't share for Canelo Plant and won't for this. Well, AJ apparently isn't going to be fighting. Well, actually, he's admitted it. He's not going to be fighting until December, so God knows against who. He still hasn't been hit flush with a proper heavyweight shot yet. Might still be saying that after the next fight. We may see. There's something just off about Dubois. We all know someone like that at school, just something isn't right. Yeah, he's very strange. You know, I really did think he'd come out of that shell after a few years, but he never did. And I didn't. A part of me thought when he left his original trainer, who was also, I think he's still being managed by him though. I forget what his name was. But when I saw him leave, when I heard he was leaving him, I actually thought best move for you might actually be Ben Davison, because at the time, Ben Davison had a bit of a kind of, how would I describe it, kind of where all the cool kids go, if you get me, kind of that kind of mentality in his gym, where he had Josh Taylor, still has Lee Wood, and he still has Lee McGregor, amongst others. And they all kind of had a bit of a kind of, you know, kind of the boys mentality in that gym. They all seemed to be pretty, you know, close and having a laugh. And I thought for Dubois, from a technical point of view, because Ben Davis is not a bad trainer, but just to get him out of his shell, that might be the best move for him. Instead, he goes to McGuigan. And McGuigan's gym is ran more, I don't want to say, because it implies Davison's gym's not ran professionally, which it is, but there doesn't appear to be as much banter there, or was. And I thought that might actually help him. Fury ducked Usyk. So a fight with others like Dubois and Joyce fighting first, put miles on the clock. Well, I doubt Dubois is going to put any miles on Fury's clock, to be honest with you. I doubt that. Rolf Harris. Yeah. Rolf Harris. What a name. What a guy. Is he still in jail? No, I think he's out of jail, actually. Rolf Harris. Damn. Warren is a legend. How the bell end did he maneuver Dubois into his current ranking? With the WBA of all that, like, I'd get it more so if it was on the WBO or Green Mile. I'm tired, boss. I missed the whole thing about that, mate. Can you see what it is yet? I'm big up to Tony Boswell. I haven't seen you in a while, mate. How are you keeping? I hope you're all well, mate. Hope you're all well. Big much respect, G-Man, and the chat. Stopping in to show support and hit the like button. Happy Easter. Appreciate you, mate. Appreciate you. If you all could, help your boy out and smash the like button. There's 160 yous in the building. I'd really appreciate it if you could help your boy out. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already, as I always say. Hit the old subscribe button. I'm sure you think that, mate. I'm sure you do. Yeah. Dubois will probably put more miles on Usyk's clock. I doubt it. I doubt it very much that he will. I doubt it. Bit late to this one, but I'll have a catch up later. Hope everyone's having a good Easter. Man, Joe Stunner, my man, how are you keeping? I must have you on another time sometime soon, mate. It's been a while. I think I haven't had you on since Christmas with Chris. So I must get you on again soon, mate, because it's good to get a few guys on. I like getting Dale and people like that on. And I'm coming to the end of it now, really. I always do about an hour, roughly an hour. So we're coming near the end now anyway. But I hope you're keeping well, mate, having a good Easter yourself. And yeah, it was a late one for a lot last night. I didn't stay up to watch the fights last night. I don't do that as much these days. I don't really do it as much these days. But for sure, an all-nighter is planned for the 22nd. It's planned for that. Oh boy. We are going to have some fun with that. Yeah, no, I will. Hopefully in the next week or so, maybe. I don't think I've anyone lined up anytime soon. Because you know me, I enjoy doing one-to-ones, as in like this, what we're doing here. But I like having someone on that I can chat with as well. I do. I like having you or Outmatch or someone like that on. It's always good to have someone to just chat and get the opinions off as well. So this week, how am I looking this week? This week, I'm not 100% sure. It could be a bit hectic. But if I'm free Wednesday and you're free Wednesday, we could do something. I say if I'm free Wednesday because I help my mate out in the evening, a few evenings a week. And I go over to his house. So if he's working on Wednesday, probably head out to him. But if he's not, then for sure we'll do that. But I'll text him probably tomorrow or something, and I'll get the lowdown. G-Man, thoughts on Jesus taking on the past, present, and future sins of all humanity so that we can have eternal life? Definitely not the thing to talk about here, mate. When I do these streams, I tend to keep it boxing. I very seldom. I don't like getting into politics, religion, other world stuff because few reasons. One, you just get the Renfields in the chat who don't like what you say, and then YouTube, the algorithms don't like it. So I just try and avoid all that. I often thought about doing. I'm not going to do it, but I thought about it, doing a membership on the channel. So the way you can do like memberships and doing just live streams with members where anything can kind of go. You can just ask anything. But even still then, I don't think you're fully safe from the old algorithms, which I don't want. Just send a message, mate. I will do that. I'll let you know once that's all good. Free Wednesday, just give me a shout. Yeah, big up to Chris. Big up to Chris. Haven't seen actually Chris in the chat yet, but big up to Chris Andre if he's listening back. We like Chris Andre. Chris Andre is the best boxing analyst on here. One of the best. So, yeah, no, but definitely, mate, we have to get you on. Probably on Wednesday. I'd say more than likely I'll be free on the Wednesday. So we should be reasonably good. We should be reasonably good to go that day. And then Yeah, we will. We'll discuss things. We'll discuss things. I still am struggling to get my head wrapped around why Joshua is waiting until December to come back. Now, Chris, I don't know if you are sorry, Joe. I don't know if you heard that. So, Joshua announced via Instagram. Joshua announced via Instagram that he isn't coming back until December. He said it's all part of the bigger picture. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I don't know why he's waiting until December. Now, I'm assuming he's got a big fight lined up, which against two remains to be seen. Won't be going the distance anytime soon at bad hands. So now we've gone over the hour there. So I think I'm probably going to call that one quits there. Because you know me, I like getting the stream in just the hour. For me, the hour is perfect. And we're good. We're good. What serial killer do you respect the most? Well, I don't respect any of them, to be honest with you, mate. They're all lowlifes. Tyen seems to like himself the most. Tyen Booth banned again. He's banned for, I think his ban is near the end, but he's on thin ice with YouTube. I think if he gets another ban, that's it. He's gone. So he's on thin ice with YouTube. He really is. Maybe a big Saudi offer. That's probably what it is. I know if you smash the like button on the way out. That's strange. I guess he acknowledged what he needs to do. A lot of work with Derek before another outing. But see, here's the thing, right? I get that. But would you not think, though, against an opponent who's not a world level fighter like a Dylan White, who's more than likely going to be in there next, do you not think that he would be able to go out again in the summer and maybe try some new things with him? You know, for me, it's just strange. It's just strange. I'm going to leave it with that. I'm probably going to do a video on the Joshua subject, actually, to be honest with you. But for now, lads and lasses, I'll leave you with that. If you could, on the way out, smash the like button. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. I'm only a couple of subs off another 100. So we're almost at 11,100. So 12K should be quick. Quick. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. For now, lads and lassies, I'll leave it with that. Smash the like button on the way out every single time. Hit subscribe, of course. If you haven't already, I'll talk to you in a wee bit, lads. And it was a good live. Thank you, my man. Peace.